Right now at 6, an update on a shooting in Joplin that left a teen injured.
And we still have an alert day in place because we still have snow-packed roadways, but now we're dealing with dangerously cold temperatures. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, those snow-packed roads make travel dangerous, and officials urge drivers to stay home.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, February 19th. I'm Elise Snowy. We have another alert day in place today. We're going to head over to Chris for more.
Yeah, that alert day is in place due to the dangerously cold temperatures that we're dealing with. We're talking wind chills now and through at least Thursday, upward of 20 below zero. So we do have some extreme cold warnings, and we have cold weather advisory in place through noon tomorrow. That's why our alert day continues through Thursday as well. Let's take a look outside because road conditions are not really all that fantastic. You can see downtown Pittsburgh. Just saw a plow truck go by a moment ago, but as you can see, not much of a difference. It's going to take some time. This is packed in snow, and with the temperature so cold, it's frozen pretty good. It's going to take time to get it all cleared out. So the best advice again was cancellations and closings today. If you don't have to be outside or be out on the roadways, don't. And really, if you don't have to be outside, don't either. Because this dangerously cold, this could be life-threatening cold if you're not taking appropriate precautions outdoors. So, again, stay inside if you can, and, of course, stay off the roadways. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line, again, showing snow-packed roadways out there. Quick look at those road conditions. You can see in the southeast Kansas still a number of covered roadways out there and some partly covered ones as well. And on the Missouri side, really no different. Majority of them in our region are still listed as covered, with the exception of around the Osceola area where they're partly covered, but still, that doesn't make it any better. Quick look at that future track. We are looking at mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today. We'll have opportunities for a few flurries, but the good news is the accumulating snowfall is done. And we'll eventually see some clearing late this evening, but of course with the loss of the clouds means we lose that little bit of blanket we have. Not like it's doing much for us, but it's going to be even colder tonight. Temperatures right now, the majority of us are sitting into the single digits above zero. We do have Monette at zero, and we now have Stockton at 1 below. And these are the temperatures, not the wind chills. This is why those cold weather alerts are in place. Look at these wind chills, upwards of 20 degrees below zero. Not kidding you. This is life-threatening cold. So if you don't have to be out, please don't go outside at all. Stay inside as much as you can. All right, today we are looking at highs upper single digits, low teens. Again, mostly cloudy skies. Flurries will be here and there. Again, no accumulating snow, but don't be surprised to see some flurries, light snow showers, and more importantly, those north winds gusting 25, putting our wind chills down to about 20 below zero through the day. We will eventually warm up. And I mean, we are going to warm up. We're talking a 60-degree warm up from where we are right now. We'll go over that. We'll have another look at road conditions for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you in just a bit, Chris. Thanks. We'll give an update to a shooting incident in Joplin. Police have arrested this man, Jahaven Crumpton, in connection to the shooting, which happened Monday night around 6:30 on Florida Avenue. JPD responded to 911 calls in reference to gunshots. Upon arrival, police found a male victim with gunshot wounds. They took him to a local hospital for further treatment and at last report was listed in stable condition. Now, Crumpton has been arrested on charges of first-degree assault, second-degree assault, and armed criminal action. And of course, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. A lot of people who tried to travel on I-44 yesterday probably wish that they hadn't. Authorities received multiple reports of slide-offs along the interstate in southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma. At one point, the Missouri Highway Patrol shut down westbound I-44 at mile marker 11 near the Missouri-Oklahoma line for an extended duration. KOAM's Shannon Becker covered the interstate yesterday, where conditions led to more than a dozen semi-truck crashes. The Highway Patrol recommends drivers continue to seek an alternate route and prepare to seek shelter as temperatures continue to drop. Well, the dangerous road conditions yesterday extended south of us into northwest Arkansas. This is video from the Fayetteville area. Arkansas Department of Transportation has around 2,200 crew members working and will use over 15,000 cubic yards of salt for this storm. Now, the Arkansas National Guard has also been mobilized to help in the support efforts. Dave Parker with ADOT says, quote, "It's just going to be a very, very, very tough week travel-wise." And emergency response services are on standby for accidents. The Labette County Sheriff says people there have been taking precaution and staying off the roads, and his department has seen minimal accidents. Now, the sheriff says if you have to travel, it's best to be prepared in case an emergency strikes.
Driving, just make sure you have coats, blankets, any kind of item to keep you warm. Have your cell phone charged. So if you need to, you can always dial star 47 to reach the Highway Patrol.
Now, he says it's important to stay off roads to avoid an emergency, especially because the extreme weather conditions can increase emergency response times. And you can get the latest road conditions and power outages across the area anytime through this QR code right here. It'll direct you to links on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for information for each of our 4 states in our viewing area. And for a full list of closings in the area due to winter weather, you can just scan this QR code for school, government, church closings, and more. The QR code will take you straight to the closings page of our website. Once there, you can also find instructions on how to submit other closings. And one place that says they'll be running normal hours is Freeman Health System. Now, the healthcare provider says today all inpatient, clinical, and hospital services will run as normal at Freeman Health System West, East, and Neosho. Conditions for reopening other locations will be reassessed this morning for potential delayed opening. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The U.S. Postal Service Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announces he plans to resign. Plus, President Trump and Elon Musk reveal federal workforce cuts as thousands face termination. And Chris returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy is resigning. The Postal Service says DeJoy notified the Board of Governors that it should begin to find his successor. Now, DeJoy has served as the 75th Postmaster General for 5 years. The USPS says under his leadership, it developed and started implementing a 10-year plan to modernize the service and gain financial sustainability. But DeJoy's tenure was also fraught with delivery delays and financial losses. Now, he drew criticism from both sides of the aisle amid slower delivery times. Many Democrats and Republicans have said his changes negatively impacted Americans. DeJoy in his letter said simple and obvious ideas to improve the USPS got pushback, what he described as irrational scrutiny. Now, in their first joint interview since President Donald Trump took office, the president and billionaire Elon Musk discussed their wide-sweeping efforts to slash spending and shrink the size of the federal workforce. Now, already thousands of employees across multiple government agencies have received termination notices, though some by mistake. Jared Hill has more from New York.
I wanted great people. And he's a great person.
On Fox News, President Donald Trump and his senior advisor Elon Musk defended their aggressive efforts to slash through the federal government.
All we're really trying to do here is restore the will of the people through the president.
He gets it done. He's a leader.
The interview aired hours after a federal judge in D.C. denied a request from 14 Democrat-led states to block Musk's Department of Government Efficiency from accessing data systems and firing workers at 7 government agencies. The judge called Doge's actions unpredictable, but added she couldn't restrain the work without clear evidence of imminent, irreparable harm.
What do we want? Justice!
Public criticism continues to grow. Tuesday, crowds protested outside the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, one of multiple agencies hit by thousands of job cuts. Folks newly hired or promoted hit the hardest. But along the way, DOJ has made errors. Just last night, the Department of Agriculture admitted it's trying to get back workers who were accidentally fired. Veterinarians and animal health technicians working to prevent the spread of bird flu.
One of the biggest functions of the DOJ team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out.
On that front, Tuesday, President Trump signed executive orders directing his administration to find ways to reduce the cost of in vitro fertilization, and another to rein in independent government agencies like the Federal Trade Commission, further extending the power of the White House. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, breaking overnight, 2 U.S. officials tell CBS News that the Trump administration has put a hold on immigration applications under Biden-era parole programs for migrants from Latin America and Ukraine. The White House is blaming fraud and security concerns for the pullback. The president has also threatened to slap a 25% or more tariff on automobile, pharmaceutical, and semiconductor imports in the coming weeks. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are. Because of that cold. So we've got to deal with the wind chills upwards of 20 below zero already this morning, and they will remain that way through today into tonight and a good portion of our Thursday as well. And then as you're seeing, road conditions out there are not in the greatest shape as well either. I'll have another full look at your forecast. We'll take a look at some warmer weather that's on the way and the road conditions here in just a few more minutes.
Well, cookie season is here after the Girl Scouts had their what they call mega drop, delivering a vast amount of cookies to troops and excited customers. Marley Ginter reports.
Familiar flavors and some familiar faces. This is the Girl Scouts Heart of Central California's mega drop, the day where Thin Mints, Caramel Delights, and every cookie in between is handed out to troops all over the region.
Very efficient. Nobody gets out of their car. They stay right in their car, and we put cookies in the back of the car. So it's just a great way to get them out in the community.
And I have the lemonade.
CBS 13's Marley Ginter and executive producer Katie Coroto led us beat tag-alongs as they helped their daughter's troop pick up some of the 50,000 cases of cookies that'll go out in 18 counties.
There's all these great skills that they're going to learn. They're going to learn people skills. They're going to learn how to budget, work with money, and just, the salesmanship, right?
You got the toe shaved. Yay!
Their troop is brand new and selling cookies for the very first time. Marley's daughter, Hannah, shared why supporting the Girl Scouts is a sweet treat for everyone.
That I got to meet my mom's friends. And I'm so happy that I get to be with her tomorrow.
The proceeds from each purchase stay local and help Girl Scouts grow.
It helps us get more money and because it helps us know other people.
So they're the ones that are going to be selling. They're the ones learning all of these important skills. And by buying these cookies, you're supporting them. You're giving them the opportunity to go on camping trips and different field trips and learn to be leaders.
Always a great time, and I was eyeing those Samoas or Caramel Delights, whatever you call them. I'll take a whole case. Let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Today, a great day for some Girl Scout cookies. Anything that will help you stay inside where it's warm, because that's our best advice for you. We will eventually get really warm about a week from now. We'll take a look at that, plus road conditions and the dangerous cold when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up now at 6:21 on this bitterly cold Wednesday morning across the area. A number of places canceled or not happening, events canceled, organizations closed, businesses closed. They're scrolling at your screen and on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. So it's a full list of reasons to not go outside or be on the roads, but we're going to give you a few more, starting with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, where snow is still packed on Broadway. We've seen a plow truck go by, but if you look close enough, And I bet I could probably point it out. You see right around here, see some of that shiny stuff? Some of this stuff from people on it's frozen and it's packed snow. And it's going to be very difficult to scrape off. It's going to take time. So if you can stay home and stay off the roads, that will allow the road crews to get done what they need to get done. On top of that, we still have those gusty winds. So when they plow, any loose snow is going to end up blowing right back into the roadway. KDOT camera 69, Kansas Crossing. Again, looking back to the south, still covered roadways there. We're going to have the same view roughly from the KDOT camera just north of that at East 520th Avenue. Still dealing with packed roadways. Same from the I-44 and MoDOT cameras around the city. But take a look. There's a little bit of sunshine that's showing up, trying to, with these mostly cloudy skies out there. But that's not going to make any difference with our temperatures, unfortunately. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Again, packed roadways there as well. Same from 32nd and range line. So again, stay off the roads if you can. Let the road crews do what they need to do. Because the fewer of us there are, the easier it is for them to get around and do what they need to do. KDOT still reporting a number of covered roadways across parts of southeast Kansas, and we've got the same thing roughly the I-70 corridor south across the state of Missouri. We've got covered roadways out there as well. We also have cold weather advisories in the dark blue, and then in the other blue on the left side of your screen, those are extreme cold warnings. And that is because we're looking at wind chills between today, tonight, and tomorrow, upwards of 20 below zero. Future track not bringing us much relief, at least over the next couple of days. Again, we'll have a mix of mostly cloudy to cloudy skies, and that will also allow for the potential for some flurries across the area. Now, the accumulating snow is done, but flurries will be possible. We'll get a little clearing late this evening and overnight, but because of that, we also lose that thermal blanket. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not really doing much for us, but you can see the difference it's going to make with our overnight lows tonight compared to where we are right now, which is not great, to be honest with you. We are at least back to above zero or right at. Monette's still sitting at zero. Stockton, it's dropped a little below zero earlier, but all of us in the single digits. But this is why those cold weather alerts are in place. Look at those wind chills upwards, again, of about 20 below zero. So through the morning, we're hanging out into the single digits. We'll have some flurries out there. No more accumulating snow, but flurries will be possible. North winds will be gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour, and that's why those wind chills will stay dangerously, potentially life-threatening cold. So if you don't have to be out, don't. Highs today, upper single digits and low teens. Into the evening we go. Still cold, a little clearing, partly cloudy skies. North wind still gusty, pushing 20, and our overnight lows anywhere from, let's say, 5 to 10 below zero, with 6 below as the average out there. About 15 tomorrow. Alert day continues. The cold weather alerts continue through about noon tomorrow. 1 Thursday night. A little better Friday. It's the 30s are going to feel like shorts weather compared to where we are now, but look at next week. We are going to be about 60 degrees warmer a week from now, so something we have to look forward to. So let's just stay in, stay safe through the next few days, and then we'll be able to go out and celebrate that nice spring-like weather next week. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now, who has Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Topping Health Watch this morning. Restrictions on abortion are leading to a rise in abortions in the states that protect abortion rights. A study published in JAMA Network showed a 17% increase in abortions in Colorado between 2020 and 2023. Now, much of that increase is due to people from Texas traveling to Colorado for the procedure after a Texas law banned nearly all abortion there. Now, women face racial disparities in the care they receive after a mammogram. A study by the University of Washington found among women who got an abnormal screening result during a mammogram, minority groups were less likely than white women to get diagnostic imaging on the same day. Same-day imaging makes a big difference in a patient receiving treatment fast if they are diagnosed with breast cancer. And swimming in lakes with still water can put you at risk for Legionnaire's disease. A study in the Canadian Medical Association journal showed Legionella bacteria can thrive in warm, stagnant natural water and man-made reservoirs. Less than 100 Legionnaire's cases are reported every year, but swimmers should be aware of the risk. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, experts share crucial safety tips on how to travel in extreme weather conditions.
And we're still dealing with some of those extreme weather conditions with the snow-packed roadways across the area. We also have our alert day for the extreme cold. We'll have a look at some road conditions and those dangerously cold temperatures and that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, with this winter weather, doctors warn that exposure could lead to hypothermia or frostbite.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29 this Wednesday morning, February 19th. Now, the snow has passed, but we still have an alert day today as extreme cold and those treacherous road conditions are still, affecting lots of things. We're going to head over to Chris right now, who has more on that.
Yeah, we do still have the dangerous road conditions. We've got covered roadways still being reported across the region, so a number of reasons not to get out. And then on top of that, Lisa, as you mentioned, the alert days are continuing for the extreme cold, which we are experiencing now and will continue through at least Thursday. Let's take a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Again, snow-packed roadways. Road crews are out, but they're facing a couple of challenges. One, this snow is packed and frozen, which is difficult to plow. On top of that, we're still going to have gusty winds through today and tonight, so when they do plow, any loose snow could potentially blow right back into the same areas that they just cleared. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line also showing those packed roadways out there and reasons to not go out. Taking a look at road conditions, KDOT still reporting a number of covered roadways across our region, and we've got the same situation on the Missouri side. I'm really on the Missouri side. Along and south of I-70 is just completely covered in terms of the roadways, so please, if you don't have to be out, don't, because it's dangerous to drive. It is also dangerously cold. Quick look at the future track. We're looking at mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. We'll have an opportunity for a few flurries here and there, but no more accumulating snow. That is done. And then we'll get a little clearing as we head into the late evening and overnight hours. Temperatures out there were at least above zero or right at. Everyone in the single digits, except Monette sitting at 0. And then you factor in those north winds gusting up to 25, and it feels like it's upwards of 20 below zero. This is life-threatening cold. This is why we're saying don't go outside. We know some folks, you don't have a choice. You got to get outside. You're plowing, you're shoveling. You've got to limit your time outside. Take appropriate precautions because, again, this is life-threatening cold. As we go through the rest of the day, highs today, upper single digits, low teens, and with north winds gusting to 25 throughout the day, we are looking at those wind chills continuing to be as low as 20 below zero, and we could have a few flurries here and there. But again, the accumulating snow is done. Now, we will eventually warm up. In fact, we will warm up quite nicely. We will have a full look at your forecast, including that warm up and some additional road conditions here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, Chris made a very good case for staying inside today. But if you do have to leave the house under these extreme conditions, make sure you are prepared for anything. Now, if you find yourself in an accident or stranded, experts say there are items you should have and safety measures you should follow to keep yourself and others safe.
That we've had them get out in the past to try to look at damage, and there's other traffic, and if you crash, there's a good chance somebody else is going to crash, and we don't want any chances of you being struck by another vehicle. So stay in your vehicle, go ahead and gather your driver's license, your insurance, call 911.
Well, AAA also says to help avoid crashes, you should have at least 4 to 6 car lengths between you and other vehicles. It's very important. You might find a variety of excuses to be outside during this winter weather, but these temperatures right now, medical professionals in the 4 states warn things like frostbite and hypothermia may not be far. KOAM Samantha Walker has what doctors say you should look out for.
From shoveling snow to attempting to build a snowman, you might be tempted to go outside during this winter weather.
But these temperatures that are coming make it much more dangerous to be out and a greater risk of becoming hypothermic.
Doctors say in these conditions, hypothermia and frostbite aren't out of the realm of possibility. Prolonged exposure can lead to things like infection or cardiac arrest.
If you've got a strong wind, the wind chill can definitely play a role and increase the risk, especially for if you have a lot of exposed skin. If your clothing or your shoes get wet.
They say it's important to be able to recognize early signs that something may be wrong before it's too late.
There's no warning for hypothermia other than it's very cold, you start shivering, you then can become delusional, you can stop shivering and then freeze.
Their skin may get kind of a pale color to it, or even almost a waxy look to it. Eventually, as it continues to worsen, they quit shivering. They may actually lose consciousness, go into a coma state. And then if that continues, then it can eventually lead to death.
Doctors say if you have to go outside, it's best to try to stay as warm as possible. That means wearing layers, things like scarves, hats, and especially gloves. But they recommend you stay inside if possible, because it's not just frostbite you may need to worry about.
The mail doesn't need to be checked, and you don't need to shovel your driveway. It's not that important right now, because people are going to fall and break stuff.
Reporting, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, both doctors say seek help as soon as possible if you or a loved one start exhibiting signs of potential hypothermia or frostbite. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump threatens a 25% car tariff and hints at new tax proposals in the coming months. And we're dealing with extreme cold temperatures. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, President Donald Trump is threatening to impose a 25% tariff on automobile imports. Yesterday, the president said he would reveal more on that proposal in early April. The president has already imposed a 25% tariff on all aluminum and steel imports, and he's directed his administration to look into reciprocal taxes to match what other countries impose on U.S. goods. Well, Coca-Cola beverage line Simply is joining the prebiotic soda wars, launching its own Simply Pop line of fruit-flavored beverages, joining the ranks of popular rivals like Olipop and Poppy. Now, the company says the drinks have no added sugar and contain 6 grams of prebiotic fiber to support gut health and vitamin C and zinc to support immune function. Simply Pop hits store shelves later this month. And Nike is teaming up with Kim Kardashian's Skims on a new women's fitness wear brand. The companies say the venture will include apparel, footwear, and accessories that are inclusive to all body types and crafted to fit every curve and enhance the body's natural form. The first Nike Skims collection is expected to debut sometime this spring, with a global expansion coming in 2026. And that's it for Consumer Watch this morning. Let's head over to Chris for another look at your forecast.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, we have an alert day continuing today through tomorrow, and that is because we are talking wind chills upwards of 20 below zero, which is what we're experiencing right now. On top of that, look, there's no reason to go outside. Anyway, you can't get anywhere. Roads are still snow-packed across the area. It was downtown Pittsburgh, 32nd and Range Line, same situation. Unless it's an emergency, we really advise you not to be heading out today because we got to let the road crews do what they need to do. We still have covered roadways, as you can see, across most of southeastern Kansas out there. With some partially covered roadways. And it's the same situation on the Missouri side, especially south of the I-70 corridor, just in general. We've got covered roadways across the southern half of the state, and that does include the majority of them here in our area. So after yesterday's incidents on I-44, I can't give you many more reasons not to get out on the roadways, and not being on the roads also will allow the road crews to get done what they need to get done out there. And the other side of it is the dangerous cold, which is why our alert days are continuing, because it is too cold to be outside at all. On the future track, you can see where we've got temperatures today, dangerously cold out there with those north winds gusting. We're going to have those wind chills throughout the day, down to about 20 below zero, much like they are right now. Speaking of those temperatures, here's a look. We're sitting, it looks like all of us are at least above zero. We're all in the single digits, with the exception of Monette, which is sitting right at zero. And then you factor in that wind gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour. Now we've got wind chills, again, upwards of 20 below zero. This is life-threatening cold. You cannot be out in this. As Lebec County mentioned, there's going to be folks, as doctors mentioned, you got to shovel your driveway. Well, maybe you don't right now. If you're not going anywhere, you don't need to go anywhere, then don't go out and do those things. I mean, if you absolutely have to, you've got to make sure you are taking appropriate precautions to stay safe, and keep an eye out for those warning signs, being the exposure to the extreme cold, because that's the last thing you need is to end up in the hospital or worse. So please, take our precautions. Stay inside if you can. Stay in where it is warm. Now, speaking of warm, believe it or not, it is almost going to feel tropical next week compared to where we are now, as temperatures are expected to rise about 50, 60 degrees. We'll go over that with you. Another look at those road conditions as well. And we're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Of course, those are coming up after this break. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Gail King. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Nate's talking exclusively with one of the students who protested the whites-only Woolworth's lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina. That was 65 years ago. Boy, times have changed. He reflects on that pivotal moment and its lasting impact on his life. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
Well, it's time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries here in the 4 states on this Wednesday morning. We're going to start out with this smiling face. A happy 4th birthday to Gatling Smith. It says, happy birthday, love mom, dad, and the whole family. Heading over to Webb City with a happy 7th birthday to Leighton Biggett. And making our way to Oswego, a happy 12th birthday to Tatum Johnston. And in Frontenac, Lane Sullivan celebrating birthday number 20 today. Happy birthday. And in Columbus, a happy 26th birthday to Blake Gerber. Bryce Common celebrating another year wiser today, turning 29 in Pittsburgh. And Lisa Shawshaw turning 41 today. It says here, enjoy your day, love your entire family. And making our way back over to Columbus with a happy 72nd birthday to Mila Yeager. And a happy birthday to Jonathan Rowe in Fort Scott. It says here, love mom, dad, and Dallas. And Lucy Glasscock celebrating another birthday as well. It says here, love mom, dad, and Rowe family. Continuing our list with Pete Crawford. Happy birthday, Pete. It says, happy birthday from your wife and family. And last but not least, in Scammon, Kansas, a happy birthday to Janet Humble. Of course, we love celebrating your birthdays and anniversaries with you. And if you would like to celebrate your birthday and or anniversary with us, you can, of course, do so by submitting them to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful birthday messages, the photos. We love to see them and we love to read them. To meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen, to also include the date of your celebration as well. Let's head over to Chris for a full look at the forecast.
Yeah, I wish Better news for everybody, but not there at least for a few days. We were going to still be bitterly cold, and we're feel this snowpack for a while because we're not going to be warm enough to really get any melting done until this weekend into next week. And as you can see, downtown Pittsburgh roads are still snowpacked. KDOT camera at Kansas Crossing on 69 looking back to the south from that traffic light there, and you can see again still snow-packed roads. Plow crews are out there doing their best, but this is a very packed snow. It's very frozen because of our temperatures, and of course with the gusty winds, anything they plow, some of the loose snow can blow right back into the areas they plowed. So you've got to be extra careful out there. And again, if you don't have to be out, don't. MoDOT cameras around the metro along I-44 showing the same situation of the packed snowways. I-44 looking slightly better at mile marker 11.9. So this is the exit you would take if you were heading south to Neosho or Fort Smith or heading north on 249 up toward Carterville and Webb City. You can see it is it's the one here. It is looking a little bit better here. So again, progressively, we are seeing improvements. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, though, looking to the east again. Still pretty snow-packed, and we've got the same snowpack at the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line as well. So a number of reasons not to be out on the roadways unless it's an emergency. I know with the dangerously cold temperatures, it's another really good reason to not be on the roadways either. You can see KDOT still reporting covered roadways across a good portion of southeastern Kansas into our area, where you have the same situation on the Missouri side, and really for the southern half of the state of Missouri, south of I-44, dealing with the covered roadways out there as well. So, and just a number of reasons. I know there's a number of school closings, businesses are closed, organizations closed, things are being canceled. Those have been scrolling on your screen. They're also on our website. So it's another good list of reasons to not go outside. Is this on the right side of your screen, that darker blue, we have cold weather advisories. On the left side, we have extreme cold warnings in place. And this is because of our wind chills. They're going to be upwards, as they are now, of 20 below zero. And that's going to continue now through today into tonight and a good portion of our Thursday. So a number of those cold weather alerts, they expire at 12 noon tomorrow, and that's why our alert day continues through tomorrow as well. So let's take a look on the future track, and through today we are looking at those mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. There'll be enough moisture in the air that'll give us an opportunity at least for some flurries, but the accumulating snow is over, so that's some good news. Some bad news is, even though it's not very warm now, we're going to have some clearing tonight, and while that will be great to see the sun tomorrow, tonight, losing some of those clouds will allow us to be even colder than where we have been. But then as we head into Thursday, we'll see a little more sunshine. It doesn't do much for our temperatures, but we will see the sun, which will certainly be nice. Seeing a little bit of it on some of those cameras now, but again, we're still dealing with those mostly cloudy skies today. Now, we go into Thursday night into Friday, still cold, but then take a look. Friday morning, yes, still very cold, but by Friday at noon, boy, low 20s. That's not bad. That's not great, but it's not bad. It's certainly an improvement, and the improvement will continue as we head into the weekend and next week as well. Here's a quick look at those temperatures, a good list of reasons to not go outside. Now, excluding Monette, all of us are above zero, but we're all in the single digits. Monette still sitting at a big zero right now, but that doesn't matter. We've got those north winds already gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour, and that's putting those wind chills down to about 20 below zero. So believe it or not, this is life-threatening cold. You can't be out in it. So as mentioned, if you don't need to shovel the driveway, if you don't need to get the mail today, don't go outside, okay? Stay home. Let the road crews do their thing, and let Mother Nature do her thing and get us a little warmer. Because today is not going to be that day of being a little warmer at all. Take a look, though. Single digits to start the day. Very cold out there. About those isolated flurries, maybe some light snow showers here and there. Again, no accumulations expected, but don't be surprised to see a few flakes flying. And we'll have that mix of mostly cloudy to cloudy skies and north gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. We're going to have another look at your forecast. As I told you, we're talking about an almost tropical sensation as we head into the next work week. I think that might be a day where a lot of folks end up calling in, not because the weather's bad by any means. We'll take a look at that, plus the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we make the transition over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., an Arkansas man celebrated Valentine's Day with the anniversary of his new heart. We'll have that story, but only if you join us on Fox 14 at 7 a.m.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Joplin police have arrested Jahaven Crumpton in connection to the shooting Monday night around 6:30 on Florida Avenue. JPD responded to 911 calls in reference to gunshots where they found a male victim. He was taken to a local hospital where he was listed in stable condition. Crumpton has been arrested on charges of first-degree assault, second-degree assault, and armed criminal action. Emergency response services are still on standby for accidents. The Labette County Sheriff says people there have been taking precautions and staying off the roads. The sheriff says if you have to travel, it's best to be prepared in case an emergency strikes. And you can get the latest road conditions and power outages across the area anytime through this QR code. It'll direct you to links on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com for information for each of the 4 states in our viewing area. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Continues dangerously cold temperatures out there. Upper single digits, low teens for highs, but that will not matter. North winds gusting to 25 are going to put us with wind chills down to 20 below zero, just as they are now. We'll have a mix of mostly cloudy to cloudy skies and an opportunity for some flurries, light snow showers. Again, accumulating snow is done, but some light snow showers will still be possible. Overnight tonight, a little bit of clearing, partly cloudy skies, but that makes us even colder, anywhere from 5 to 10 below zero with our temperatures. Wind chills again upwards of 20 below zero with those north winds gusting to 20. Cold weather alerts continue through noon tomorrow, so our alert day continues through tomorrow as well, only about 15. And then take a look at next week. Absolutely insane as we go into the upper 50s, low 60s out there. So some very nice weather on the way. Just got to get through a few more days here and there of this cold weather business before we have an opportunity to warm up. And just as a reminder, next Saturday is the first day of March. So a nice little lead into spring next week out there. Elise?
All right, sounds nice. Thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making bistro pan-seared scallops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll explore how stressful relationships can harm your mental health. Plus, a 104-year-old woman completes a unique bucket list item. We'll check that out. But for now, we'll wrap it up, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And we'll, of course, see you today at noon.